What if the path to true abundance wasn't a frantic climb, but a gentle descent into stillness? The most powerful transformations happen not in the noise of the day, but in the profound silence of the night. The final insight I will share, the one right before sleep, is the key that unlocks it all. You will want to stay for this. Mindful obstacles. We begin with an understanding that may seem counterintuitive in a world that tells us to constantly add more. The journey to abundance, to a life of richness, both internal and external, does not start with acquisition. It starts with purification. It begins with the gentle but persistent act of clearing the ground. Imagine your mind as a sacred garden, a space given to you to cultivate. Every day, through your interactions, your consumption of information, and your own patterns of thought, seeds are sown. Many of them are not the seeds you would have chosen. They are the weeds of a distracted and anxious world, and they grow silently, often unnoticed, until they have overrun the entire landscape, choking the life from the plants you truly wish to grow. Let us look at these weeds, these mindful obstacles, not as enemies to be violently ripped out, but as teachers showing us where our attention has been going. One of the most pervasive weeds is comparison. In our interconnected world, we are constantly presented with curated images of other people's lives. We see their successes, their travels, their possessions, and a subtle poison enters our own garden. This poison nourishes the weed of comparison, and its roots run deep. It creates a feeling of less than. It fosters a sense of lack, not because our own life is genuinely deficient, but because it is being measured against an illusion. This constant measuring drains your vital energy. Your attention, which could be used to water your own seeds of potential, is instead diverted to tending a garden that is not your own. It is a profound misallocation of your most precious resource. Abundance cannot grow in a mind that is perpetually focused on what it is missing relative to others. The very act of comparison is an affirmation of scarcity. Another powerful weed is the weed of worry, especially worry about the future. The mind projects itself forward into 1,000 possible scenarios, almost all of them negative. It rehearses arguments, anticipates failures, and braces for disasters that have not happened and likely never will. This is not productive planning. It is a state of chronic, low-grade fear. This weed wraps its tendrils around your nervous system, keeping it in a state of constant activation. It consumes enormous amounts of mental and emotional energy, leaving you exhausted before the day has even truly begun. A mind preoccupied with future fears cannot be present, and only in the present moment can you see the opportunities that exist right now. Worry creates a thick fog, obscuring the path ahead. You cannot see the abundance that is all around you because your vision is clouded by the ghosts of a future that does not exist. It is a cage you build for yourself bar by bar with each anxious thought. Then there is the heavy weed of past regret. The mind becomes an anchor, chaining itself to mistakes, to words you wish you hadn't said, to actions you wish you hadn't taken. It replays these moments over and over, as if by reliving the pain, you can somehow change the outcome. But the past is fixed. It is a story that has already been written. Carrying regret is like carrying a sack of heavy stones on your back every single day. It slows you down, it drains your strength, and it keeps your gaze fixed on the ground behind you. How can you walk toward a bright future if you are always looking backward? Abundance is a forward-moving energy. It is about creation, growth, and becoming. Regret is the opposite. It is an energy of stagnation and decay. To clear this weed is not to forget the lessons of the past, but to release the emotional charge associated with it. It is to forgive yourself, to accept your own humanity, and to set the stones down so you can finally stand up straight and walk freely. These obstacles, comparison, worry, and regret, are not just abstract concepts. They have a tangible effect on your state of being. They create a constant internal noise, a static that disrupts the signal of your own intuition. Imagine trying to listen to a beautiful piece of music while a television is blaring in the same room. You might catch a note here or there, but you cannot appreciate the symphony. Your inner wisdom, your intuition, is that symphony. It is constantly playing, offering guidance, insight, and clarity. But the static of these mental weeds is so loud that we cannot hear it. So we make decisions from a place of noise, not from a place of signal. We react out of fear, not out of wisdom. We act from a feeling of lack, not from a sense of inner fullness. The first and most critical step on the path to any kind of wealth is to consciously and deliberately turn down the volume of this static. It is to begin the patient, daily work of tending your inner garden, of noticing these weeds as they arise and gently removing them, creating the silent, fertile space where something new and beautiful can finally begin to grow. Internal foundation. Every magnificent structure that inspires awe, whether it is a towering mountain or a temple built by human hands to last for millennia, possesses a secret. Its visible grandeur is not the source of its strength. Its true power lies in what is unseen, in the immense, unshakable foundation upon which it rests. The same is true for a life of genuine abundance and meaning. The outer manifestations that we often associate with wealth, the financial security, the accomplishments, the possessions, are merely the visible part of the structure. They are the spires and the decorated walls, but they cannot be built, and they certainly cannot be sustained if the foundation beneath them is weak, shallow, or built on unstable ground. This unseen, all-important foundation is your internal state of being. It is your default emotional and mental home, the place your mind returns to when it is not being pulled by external forces. For many in the modern world, this foundational state is one of subtle, pervasive scarcity. It is a quiet but constant belief that there is not enough. Not enough time to do what needs to be done. Not enough energy to meet the day's demands. Not enough money to feel secure. Not enough love or validation to feel whole. This foundation of scarcity becomes the lens through which we interpret all of life's events. When an opportunity appears, our first thought is of the risk. When a challenge arises, our first feeling is fear of loss. Our decisions are not guided by a desire for growth and expansion, but by a desperate need to protect the little we believe we have. A life built on this foundation is like a house built on sand. It may look stable on a calm day, but the first storm, an unexpected bill, a critical comment, a project that fails, can threaten the entire structure. It lives in a state of constant vulnerability, fragile and easily shaken. To build a life of lasting abundance, we must shift our focus from decorating the walls to fortifying the foundation. This is the great work. It is the practice of building a foundation of stone, an internal state of being that is solid, stable, and rooted in a sense of sufficiency. This is not about pretending that external challenges do not exist. It is about cultivating an inner resilience so profound that you can meet any challenge without crumbling. It is the cultivation of an inner peace that is not dependent on outer circumstances. This is the ultimate source of power. When your inner world is stable, you become the calm eye of the storm. The winds of chaos may howl around you, but at your core you remain still, clear, and capable. From this place of stillness, you can make decisions that are wise, compassionate, and powerful. Consider the analogy of a great ancient tree. The tree does not spend its energy worrying about whether it will get enough sunlight or rain. It does not strain to produce its fruit. Its primary work is to deepen its roots, to anchor itself more firmly into the earth. From the strength and depth of its root system, it draws all the nourishment it needs. Because its foundation is so secure, it can withstand the strongest winds and the harshest droughts. And the fruit? The fruit is not a goal it strives for. It is the natural, effortless consequence of its inner health and stability. You are this tree. Your inner state, your default emotional home, is your root system. The practice of preparing for sleep is the sacred act of tending to these roots. Each night, you have the opportunity to release the anxieties and fears that keep your roots shallow and fragile. You can consciously choose to water them with feelings of gratitude, trust, and peace. This inner foundation of sufficiency is a radical act in a world that profits from your sense of lack. To feel enough just as you are right now is to reclaim your power. It is to declare that your sense of well-being is not for sale. It is not contingent on the next purchase, the next promotion, or the next compliment. It is generated from within. When you build this foundation, your relationship with the world changes. You no longer approach it as a beggar, hoping for scraps of security or happiness. You approach it from a state of fullness as a creator. You are not trying to get something from the world. You are bringing your inner state of peace and clarity into the world. And a person who operates from such a solid foundation is an incredibly powerful force. They build things that last. They create relationships based on trust, not need. They attract opportunities because they radiate a quiet confidence and stability that others are naturally drawn to. This is the true meaning of wealth. It is not what you have, but the foundation upon which you stand. Active stillness. The transition from wakefulness to sleep is one of the most mysterious and powerful moments of our daily existence. It is a gateway, a sacred threshold where the conscious mind relinquishes control and the deeper creative intelligence of the subconscious takes over. For most, this gateway is a turbulent passage, filled with the chaotic residue of the day's anxieties. The silence of the night amplifies the noise of the mind. But for the wise, this threshold is not a place of turbulence, but a workshop. It is here, in the practice of active stillness, that we can consciously shape the quality of our rest and, by extension, the quality of our waking reality. This is not about simply falling into bed exhausted. It is a deliberate and graceful act of preparation. The first principle of this practice is to cease all struggle. As you lie down and the thoughts of the day begin to swarm, the common impulse is to fight them, to push them away, to argue with them. This is a battle you can never win. To resist a thought is to give it more energy, to make it stronger. The act of resistance is a form of attention. Instead, we practice the art of detached observation. Imagine you are sitting on the bank of a river. The thoughts, feelings, and worries of the day are like leaves and branches floating by on the current. You are not in the river. You are the silent, unmoving witness on the bank. You simply watch them come, and you watch them go. You do not judge them. You do not cling to them. You do not try to stop them. This simple shift in perspective from being the thought to being the awareness that perceives the thought is the beginning of all freedom. It creates a space, a quiet clearing in the forest of your mind. Once this space of awareness has been established, you begin the process of release. This is both a mental and a physical act. You anchor your attention in the rhythm of your breath, the most fundamental and grounding process of life. Feel the sensation of the air entering your body and feel the gentle rise of your chest and abdomen. And then, with every exhale, you consciously let go. Imagine the out-breath is a gentle breeze carrying away the dust and tension of the day. You can perform a mental scan of your body, starting from your toes and moving slowly upward. Where are you holding tension? In your feet, your legs, your stomach? Many of us clench our stomach without realizing it, a physical manifestation of unresolved emotional stress. With your exhale, consciously invite that area to soften, to release its grip. Feel the tension in your shoulders, the place where we carry the weight of our burdens. Let them drop. Notice your jaw. Is it clenched, rehearsing unsaid words, or grinding with frustration? Allow it to go slack. With each breath, you are systematically and lovingly releasing the physical armor you have built up throughout the day. You are emptying your vessel, creating a state of profound receptivity. Now, into this clean, quiet, and receptive space, you plant a single, powerful seed. This is the most crucial part of the practice and requires great subtlety. You are not to formulate a desperate, needy request for something you lack. To ask for money from a feeling of being poor only reinforces the feeling of poverty. To ask for love from a feeling of being lonely only deepens the sense of isolation. The subconscious mind does not respond to words of lack. It responds to the language of feeling, of somatic experience. Therefore, you do not ask for what you want. You cultivate the feeling of already having it. This is not a lie, it is an act of creation. What would it feel like in your body if your greatest financial worry was already resolved? It would likely feel like relief, a sense of expansion in your chest, a deep, calm breath. So you gently hold that feeling of relief in your awareness. You embody it. Or perhaps you choose to plant the seed of gratitude. You let your awareness drift over one or two things in your life for which you feel genuine, uncomplicated thankfulness. It could be the comfort of your bed, the sound of rain outside, the fact that you are breathing. You do not just think the thought, "I am grateful." You allow the warm, expansive feeling of gratitude to fill your body. This feeling has a very high, coherent frequency. It is the frequency of abundance itself. You are not begging for more, you are celebrating what is. You hold this chosen feeling, be it relief, gratitude, peace, or trust, gently, like holding a delicate bird in your hands. You don't squeeze it. You simply create a space for it to be, and you allow yourself to drift into sleep while bathed in this feeling. You have cleared the soil, you have planted the seed, and now you surrender. You trust the deep, intelligent, and restorative power of the night to water it, to nurture it, and to begin weaving its essence into the very fabric of your being. Waking reality. The profound work you undertake in the sacred moments before sleep does not end when your consciousness fades. It is, in fact, just the beginning. The night is not a void, it is a crucible of transformation. The state in which you enter sleep becomes the energetic and psychological material from which your next day is forged. The quality of your night dictates the quality of your dawn. When you collapse into sleep with a mind buzzing with anxiety, replaying conflicts and projecting fears, you do not truly rest. Your body may lie still, but your nervous system remains in a state of high alert. You are marinating for 8 hours in the stress hormones of cortisol and adrenaline. Consequently, you awaken with what can be called a waking deficit. You open your eyes and you are already tired, already behind. Your mind is immediately on the defensive, scanning the horizon for problems. You view the world through a lens of scarcity and threat. Your creativity is stifled, your patience is thin, and you are prone to making reactive, fear-based decisions. This is not a state from which abundance can be created or even perceived. Conversely, when you have consciously practiced active stillness, when you have cleared the mental and emotional debris of the day and planted a seed of peace, gratitude, or trust, you enter the gateway of sleep in a state of coherence and harmony. The deep restorative processes of the night can function optimally. Your nervous system shifts into a parasympathetic state of rest and digest, allowing for genuine physical and cellular repair. But more profoundly, your subconscious mind, now unburdened by the static of anxiety, can work on the feeling seed you planted. It integrates this feeling of peace or abundance into your being. You awaken with a waking surplus. You open your eyes and feel a sense of inner calm, a quiet readiness. The world outside has not changed, but your capacity to meet it has been fundamentally transformed. The inner noise has been replaced by an inner silence, and this silence is not empty. It is pregnant with potential. It is clarity. This state of waking clarity is the fertile ground for all abundance. Because your mind is no longer hijacked by fear, you are able to perceive reality as it is, not as your anxieties project it to be. The challenging email from your boss, which yesterday would have sent you into a spiral of panic, is now seen simply as a piece of information to be addressed calmly and strategically. The traffic jam that would have induced rage is now just a moment to breathe. You have more bandwidth. Your perception widens. You begin to notice things that were previously invisible to your worried mind. You hear the subtle opportunity in a casual conversation. You see a creative solution to a problem that has been stuck for weeks. You feel a pull to connect with someone who can help you or whom you can help. This is the true mechanism of attraction. It is not a mystical force pulling things out of the ether. It is the direct result of elevating your own state of being to a level where you can finally perceive and act upon the opportunities that have been surrounding you all along. This process creates a powerful, self-reinforcing upward spiral. By starting the day from a place of calm clarity, you make better decisions. These better decisions lead to better outcomes. These better outcomes reinforce your feeling of competence and trust, which makes it even easier to release anxiety the next night. The practice builds on itself. One night of this practice can bring a moment of peace. A week of this practice can change your mood. A month or a year of this practice can change the entire foundation of your life. You move from a state of surviving to a state of thriving. Your interactions with others transform. Because you are not operating from a place of neediness or fear, you bring a presence of calm and stability to your relationships. People feel safe and at ease around you. This makes them more open, more collaborative, and more willing to connect. Opportunities flow through people. By changing your inner state, you change the entire relational ecosystem around you. You become a beacon of the very peace and abundance you once sought. The ultimate destination of this path is a state where you no longer need the path. The practice ceases to be a technique you apply to get something, and it becomes who you are. The conscious act of cultivating peace before sleep becomes so ingrained that your natural, default state is one of inner richness. The frantic search for external wealth subsides because you have discovered the inexhaustible wellspring of abundance within yourself. And from this profound state of inner fulfillment, the external forms of abundance, the money, the relationships, the opportunities, begin to flow to you, not as something you desperately chase, but as a natural, effortless reflection of the beautiful, orderly, and peaceful garden you have so lovingly cultivated within. For years, my mind has been a battlefield every night, replaying every mistake and worrying about every bill. The idea that I don't have to fight my thoughts, but just observe them like clouds, that's a revelation. Tonight, I'm not going to fight. I'm going to prepare the garden. Thank you for this guidance. I feel a sense of hope I haven't felt in a long time.